Yes, indeed. I think by the end we will have delivered 100,000 new affordable homes, which is 14,000 more than the previous mayor, and above all, helped 52,000 people into home ownership with the part-by-part rent first steps scheme. We have got very ambitious targets now for housing in London, and a huge attack now on the whole problem, in the sense that the number of affordable homes delivered last year, I think, was bigger than any time since the early 1980s. And as far as I can remember, we're building more homes now than any time since 1981. And there are a further 260,000 homes in the planning pipeline. That's 50% more than there were when I took over.
Okay, what do you make of this quote then? House prices in London have accelerated faster than wages over the last 8 years, and many Londoners cannot now afford to buy a home in their own city. Those lucky enough to own their own home have to work longer hours to meet ever-rising mortgage costs, and those still searching have to take on mountains of debt in order to get on the ladder.
I'm afraid that is absolutely true.
Well, that was actually from your manifesto in 2008, commenting on the previous one.
And that is a function. That is a function of the growing popularity and success of this city. It's the number one urban economy in Europe by miles, and people want to live here. We've had a growth just since I've been mayor, a growth of about 800,000 in the population of London. I mean, compare Berlin, they've had a fall in their population of about 186,000. London is absolutely booming by comparison with most other European cities, and that inevitably makes housing more expensive. And
in your 8 years,
the only serious answer is not rent controls, which I know someone's going to raise later, but to build more homes.
In your 8 years in office, wages rose just 4%, house prices have risen 76%. Is that a legacy to be proud of?
Well, I certainly think it is proud. I'm certainly proud that more Londoners are now in work than ever before. We have employment at record highs. We've got unemployment at record lows. And yes, as I say, I'm perfectly willing to accept the criticism that house prices have risen. I think it's an open question, how much people would like the value of their home to fall. 20, I don't know, owner-occupiers in this room may wonder how much they would like the value of their home to fall. I think people will have different views about that. But what we have done is to tackle the problem by building more homes, record numbers of homes, new affordable and new housing zones, every single bit of GLA land that all the brownfield sites that we had when I took over are now under construction, with hundreds of thousands of new homes for Londoners.
And you also wrote in your 2008 manifesto that the average monthly rent had increased by over a third on the previous 8 years. But in your 8 years, you've seen rents raised by a similar amount. You were concerned and worried about that in 2008. Are you still concerned and worried about this? What we have done is introduce the London rental standard, which has got about, I think, 15,000 or so landlords accredited. People and more than 100,000 dwellings. I can't remember, either 130,000 dwellings or something of that kind. What we can't do is try to magic rents down by imposing some sort of government fiat, because it just doesn't work. But you were saying this was a problem in 2008, that rents had risen in 8 years by a third. They've now risen by another third in this 8 years. Is it still a problem? Are you genuinely concerned about it, or is it just something? No, of course I am, and I'm just trying to give you the. But you've not actually been able to do anything about it, have you? Because rents have risen by the same amount. Yes, we have, because as I say, we've tackled the problem by building more homes than the previous Labour mayor. In fact, I think there are now net far more affordable homes than. I think, as far as I can remember, under the previous mayor, the net number of affordable homes actually went down. We've increased the overall number of affordable homes,
And I think we can be very proud of the record. And don't forget that this has been achieved in spite of the credit crunch and absolute freezing of mortgage lending that went on in the early part of the mayoralty, and very, very difficult conditions for the banks and other lenders. So we had to, when I took over, construction had basically collapsed because of the disaster in the financial services industry, and it took a real effort to keep things going.
I'll leave some time for my colleague James, but I think even by the terms you set yourself in your 2008 manifesto, you've actually failed on those terms.
Well, I must disagree with you respectfully. I think that we've tackled the problem with a huge effort to build more homes. And again, I would pay tribute to Rick Blakeway, to David Luntz, everybody in the GLA housing unit who have been extremely ambitious and dynamic in their approach.
Thank you.
Thank you.